So let's continue from where we had left in the last video about creating a sales order and approving a sales order. Now, post approval of a sales order, the next step comes as to procure the material or to buy the material from a supplier. So for that, you need to go to purchases and you have something known as SO to PO, which means a sales order to a purchase order. So when you click on this, you will see all those items which are confirmed as a sales order and approved, but are not procured. There is a procurement shortage, either the stock is less or you don't have or you have not placed a purchase order. So by default, the short length would come and you have two views of this data. One is basically consolidated data. Say, for example, I can see there is 135 meters of this particular fabric, fantastic 12 to be procured. And when I click on the I mark here, it tells me four important things. One is what all orders add up to that 135 meters. So there are these 4 orders which add up to that 135 meters. And is there an open PO? Yes. So we've placed a PO on the supplier for 40 meters. Is there any stock? No, we don't have any stock. Is there any pending orders for approval? So we also get if there are any orders which are pending approval. So in case you want to plan your procurement, saying that, okay, this order is anyways going to be approved, let me order for the extra material so that I can save on pricing by ordering a full roll instead of ordering cut lengths. Now, alternately, as a retailer, you would say that I don't want to get into all this planning of bulk purchase of fabrics. I want to go order wise. So if I click on this order wise, I get only those items which are short in terms of the order. So the order gets split up. Now, if you look at the order that we had created, it was order number 678. This is not showing in SO to PO. So let's find out what is the reason. I'm removing the short length tag from here. And I'm again going to search by the order number, which is 678. So if you see in 678, here there's an open PO. We needed 14 meters. There is an open PO placed with the supplier for 74. Here we need 15.75. We already have a stock of 59.25 and an open PO of 63 meters. And in the last one, 10 meters, we have an open PO of 12.5. Now, I would not want to disrupt these POs. What I'm going to do is, since we have stock for 15.75, I'm not going to order this. I'm going to select on Atlantic. So the moment I select this, the vendor comes selected. If the other items are of the same vendor, I can tick. If it's of a different supplier, then this tick would automatically get disabled. You have to first create PO for one supplier, and then you can create PO for the next supplier. Now I've selected these two items. I can click on proceed to PO. When I click on proceed to PO, the vendor comes auto selected. I have to select which courier am I going to get the material from. All the couriers included in the configuration courier master will be available here. I'm just doing Blue Dart and Surface. Automatically, both these items have come. Since these items are less than 50 meters, they come in the form of cut length. Now you have an option to put the material expected date here. What does material expected date mean? If you know how many days the supplier takes to give you the material, you can select the material expected date, and this will act as an alert for your user. Say, for example, I put a material expected date of 1st of March. So now this item will start showing to me from the 28th of February in my pending for receiving material. So here I'm not putting, this is not a compulsory field, so I'm not putting. I'll explain you how do we manage this. Now, if you want to send a mail to the supplier, you can select on send mail. The automated email will come. If you want to put a comma and add new email IDs, you can do that. If you don't want to send the email, don't check on this. You can push orders directly to the supplier if the supplier works on inclusive ERP for their ERP requirements. So if we are the company who has supplied them the software, then your order can directly get pushed into the supplier software without you having to manually go and punch it in their portal. Now, I'm not going to do both of those. I am just going to click on submit and create a purchase order. So you see purchase order number 402 has been created right now. Now, I will show you two things. One is when the purchase order is created, you see items expected is for the procurement guy to understand what items are expected today. And if you look at this, the Atlantic is expected on the 1st of March. There is one item which is expected today. There is one which is expected 2 days back, but has not yet been received. So these are like the delays going on or the follow-ups for the purchase guy. So they are supposed to call up the supplier now and tell that, I have placed this order. We are expecting this material. When can we get this material? Now, in some cases, it may so happen that the supplier may give you a different date. So you can go into purchase orders, PO details list, and I'm going to search for the POs for today. Now, see, for example, this PO, which I have got the 1st of April as the date put up here, I can go ahead and change this date. So I can say, okay, 1st of March, I'm going to make it 28th or maybe 3rd of March. I can save this changes. Now this item, which was the Amsterdam item, I had not put the material expected date at the time of making the PO. So now when I follow up with the supplier tells me that, okay, this can also be received by tomorrow or March 1st, and I can save that change. So once I save that change, this material is expected on the 1st, this is expected on the 3rd. Now when I go to the dashboard, you will see that again 3 items are there, but Atlantic goes away and Amsterdam comes in. So Atlantic will start showing me on the 2nd. Now I assume that the material has arrived and I'm doing a goods receiving. So for goods receiving, you go there, create a new GRN, select the store, you select the vendor, the vendor's bill number, so, and the bill date. And I'm selecting the purchase order number. Now, if you don't remember the purchase order number, you can click on this link and you'll get all the open POs. So if Amsterdam comes, you can select Amsterdam and you see that 402, there's a PO. There's also another PO of 12.5, which we had, remember, we had got it. That is also not yet arrived. So I'm just putting in 402 search. Now I'm selecting Atlantic, automatically the quantity would come. I'm adding this. Supposing Amsterdam comes in 2 pieces, say 5 meters, 1 piece. And again, Amsterdam comes in 5 meters, another piece. I can do that. If I want, I can put other fields also over here. I want to also take up the other Amsterdam PO, which is 367. So I can select PO number 367 also here and search. Now here Amsterdam 12.5 is there. I can add that. So if you see, I have added items from multiple purchase orders into the same GRN. And I am also taking in this artist, say, and I've added this also. So I've taken all this GRN. Now, if you want to put in the design or the color or the gross weight, net weight, you can also do that. I'm now creating the GRN. The moment the GRN is created, you have the goods coming in. Now you have a GRN confirmation, which is basically you check the material and you say, okay, I want to confirm the GRN. I can click on confirm GRN. I can select these items. If I want to put a rack location, I can put a rack location. So this is like a storage location which I want to put. This will be available when you look for in the inventory. So you have an inventory tab here. When you search the inventory, you can see the rack location where that material is kept. Now I go there and I confirm all these fabrics. So the moment I confirm it, there is a barcode sticker which will get generated. This you may or may not stick on the fabric because this is basically a generalized sticker, which is telling you the details and the MRP of the fabric. This is particularly helpful when you are basically ordering rolls to be stored in your warehouse for point of sale operations. So that time you can create this tag and put it on the roll so that any customer who walks in can see the tag and understand the MRP of the product. Now, once you do this, you have confirmed the GRN and the PO goes from the pending stage. So if you go on to the dashboard now, you see the items expected has reduced to 2 because the other item has been received, so it is no longer in pending. However, there is a pending cutting. So this pending cutting will now have the orders from 678. I was mistaken. So 678 was the order number. So if you see, for the order number 678, Atlantic and Amsterdam have arrived. The order quantity was 14. You have received 14 and 10 and 10. And also you had stock which was there available for Amity for the order number 678. So these are the stock items. These are the SO to PO items. So now simply means your warehouse guy gets into action. He goes on to sales orders and he's got something known as allocate material out here. Here he can search for the order number. And once he searches it, He can click on this order number. Now he sees these 3 items, the quantity of the order, the stock available with him. He can click on this item. Now what he does is he selects this. Now what you see in this screen is this is the particular collection serial number, the order quantity which is there, the pending order quantity. So if you have partly allocated an order, then they will show the balance amount to be allocated. There is this one piece which I'm allocating. There is another order of the same item which is of 13 meters, which is, you know, for you to understand that, okay, why is this 22.5 meters? Because there's another order of 13 meters also. And there are 2 POs which are also pending. So there is a 10 meter PO and a 13 meter PO, which adds up to that total quantity which is available. So when I allocate this fabric has got allocated. Clicking on the next fabric. So if you see, we have taken 5 meters each, 2 pieces, and we have taken a 12.5 meter, and the order is, and there is a 12.5 meter order. So I clearly know there are 2 orders of 12.5. I'm leaving this piece. I'm selecting both these pieces. So I've selected both these 5 meter pieces. I've allocated those, and I'm going on to the last one. So I've got a 14 meter requirement. The other orders are a 75 meter and a 3 meter, and there's a PO of 21 and 3 meters. So I'm anyways going ahead and selecting this, allocating this. So all the 3 fabrics are allocated. In case you are allocating the fabric less than the order quantity, the system will ask you whether you want to keep the balance quantity pending. So if you say yes, then the balance quantity remains pending. When further material arrives, you can allocate it. However, if you say no, then the balance quantity no longer is available and it directly moves as ready for billing. So these are the 4 pieces of fabric that you've allocated. Once you submit this, you get barcode stickers out here. So the barcode stickers now come with the name of the customer and the room in which the fabric has to go. So this is the first sticker for the balance fabric of Amity, which was 6.5 meters balance after in that 22 meters after the cutting. Now here starts the other stickers. So this is basically the fabric which is cut for Paresh. And this is his phone number, which room this fabric would go, what is the length of the fabric, what is the collection serial number, and what is the description we gave to the customer. This is the second sticker. This is 5 meters again for the living room. This is Amsterdam serial number 8901, window curtain. Again, 5 meters, window curtain, living room, because this is those 2 different 5 meter fabrics. And the last one is the master bedroom fabric, Atlantic serial number 12. So this go on those 4 pieces of fabric. And the first sticker goes on the balance meter, which you are storing back in your warehouse. So once you paste these stickers, you are done with the allocation. Now the fabric is available for 2 activities, which is 1, giving it to the tailor, and second, if you want, you can create an invoice at this stage. So now, so let's get back to the customer and see what the customer care department has to say when the customer calls up. So now when you look at the customer care department, they have the order which is there. When you click on the order, you see the purchase orders which have been created for the customer. You can click on the purchase orders and you can see what is the state of the purchase orders. So these purchase orders have been closed and the material has arrived. So ideally now the PO has come, and if you look at these orders, it's all pending for billing. So all these 3 items have gone in as pending for billing. Now look at the value added services. Here in the value added services, when you see that there is no tailor which has been assigned as yet, and both these fabrics are pending for sending out to the tailor. Again, the eyelet thing also the same is happening. So what we do is we go to the tailoring section and we say pending for issue. I am searching here by the name of the customer. So I'm selecting this and I'm selecting Paresh Raj, and I've got this one order for Paresh. All the 3 fabrics have come. I can select this fabric, and for this particular activity, that is curtain stitching, I've got 2 tailors. So I'm selecting both these curtain stitching and I'm selecting Kailash for this. Let me see if I curtain eyelet also has got yes. So all these 3 things have got the same tailor. I have the customer's expected delivery date as 10/3. I'm giving my tailor Kailash a deadline of 5th of March. So I'm telling him that you have to deliver by 5th of March, and I'm issuing him the fabric. So the moment I issue the fabric to the tailor, there is a job card which gets created, which is like a delivery challan come job card. I'll show you what all is there. I'm just cancelling this. So the name of the customer's project name, when have the fabric been issued, when is it expected back, what are the fabrics issued, what quantities have been issued. The measurements, if you remember, whatever we had put in at the time of creating the project are also here. So now, as the tailor had put in the measurements, we can give him those measurements for doing the stitching. At this point in time, I will just open up the customer tab also to quickly show you how this helps in the customer care. So when you go to the customer care, and if the customer calls you up for any kind of follow-up, you know that the pending for receiving. So the fabric has been issued and it's pending for receiving from the tailor. Now at this point, you can receive the fabric. So I'm going into pending for receiving. I am selecting the order number since I remember that. So all these 3 items have come. I can select these 3 items and I can say that, okay, these have been made and I have received them. Now, the next step which is left is invoicing. So I can go into the billing menu and I can go into generate invoice. Here I can see Paresh has come already, and this will start coming the moment you allocate this fabric. So now you can see all the details. If you want to check the order print, it's also available here. You can change the rates if you want. You can just click on these. You can make changes to the rate or the discount at the time of billing also. If you want to apply a flat discounted billing, you can do that. You can bill on the order quantity, which was what you had decided, or the allocated quantity. Sometimes it may so happen that you had some small pieces of fabric lying somewhere and you did not allocate the full quantity because it was an ongoing project. So instead of 15.75, you allocated only 15 meters and 0.75 was from the previous pieces that you had. So in that case, you have an option whether you want to bill the customer on allocated quantity. So you bill him only on 15 meters. Or alternately, you can allocate 15 meters, but still bill him on 15.75. Now, these are the value-added services. I'm checking this also. You can change these rates also if you want to. If you want to add a different billing name, so the customer says that I want the billing in my company's name or my firm's name, you can keep adding that. This can be done at the stage of the quotation, at the stage of sales orders, or at the billing stage. So once you do this, you can just click on proceed, and you have what is the bill amount and everything. If you want to send the email, you can click on this. The default email ID of the customer comes in. You want to add more email IDs, you can type in. If you don't want to send the email right now, you can save this for later and you can generate the invoice. So the moment you generate the invoice is available. It gets only the descriptions that you have put in, the quantities and the value-added services coming in. So this is how you go ahead and complete an entire flow from the sales order to the procurement to the billing of the customer. Apart from these, there are many other facilities which are like if you want to bill the customer for some additional services. So say, for example, you want to bill the customer for an additional service that the customer has, customer has undertaken. So you have something known as general invoice out here. So you can go in and say, Paresh Raj, and I want to, kind of put something for transportation charges. And I will put a HSN here. I put, say, 1,000 rupees for the transportation. And if I want to select a tax, I can select that. I can add this. I can add more items here. And this I can create as an invoice, which is available for the customer on their ledger account. So say, for example, this additional invoice, which was not related to any item, also I've created. Now, when I go to the customer, I have the customer's account, which I can open from here, which is called the customer statement. So 25,182 is due here. If I want to print the statement, I can click on the print button and print the statement out. If I want to mail the statement to the customer, I can click on this, and this automatically sends an email. Only if the customer email ID is present. If the email ID is not present, you are supposed to first update the email ID, which is very simple. You can click on this modify icon, modify customer icon here, and add in the email ID for the customer in the email ID column. So these are the few things that you can do with the application. We'll get you a third video, which will be more informative about how to calculate commissions, what else you can do, what kind of reports and data you can extract out of the system. Hope this helps. Keep learning, keep improving with Incluziv Retail.